boys and girls. How are you doing today? Today, we're going to talk about the letter I. I is a vowel. Remember, vowels are letters that make two sounds. The letter I says I, I, or I. He actually says his name as one of his sounds. I, I is the short I sound. And I is the long I sound. In my picture of the letter I have an igloo on top. Do you see my little igloo? An igloo is like a little house made of ice blocks or snow blocks. I, I, igloo. Do you hear that I sound? Watch my lips. We have to get our mouth ready to make the sounds. Your lips are going to pull back and all your teeth will show. I, I, igloo. Good job, my friends. We're going to look in our little eye bucket and then I'm going to introduce you to something called webbing. Webbing is something that we write down that helps our brain remember things. First, let's get our little eye tub out. There's our eye tub. Now I know that Allie the alligator is the friend that helps us with vowel letters like the letter I. But guess what, guys? His tummy is hurting this morning. Do you remember Mr. Teddy's tummy was hurting last week? Well, I'm afraid now Allie the alligator has got that little bug and now his tummy is hurting. So we don't have a friend to help us this morning, but we can do it together, can't we? Let's look in our little eye tub and see what begins with either I, I, or I. Here we go. Oh, look, the first thing that I found in our little eye bucket is an igloo. Igloo is that little house made of ice that was here on my iCard. Say igloo. Good job. Igloo begins with the letter I. Let me pick something else out of our eye tub. Oh, what's this? It's on a cone. It's cold and yummy. Did you say ice cream? Ice cream also starts with the letter I sound, but it's the long I sound. I, I, ice cream. Good job, guys. Ice cream starts with the letter I. Oh my, what is this? Can you see it? It's a little bitty green bug. It has 6 legs. Oh, do you know what you call a bug that has 6 legs? If you said insect, you're right. I, insect. Insect begins with the letter I. Oh, I have something very small down here in the eye bucket. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. It's a little machine that you can plug in and it gets really, really hot. And mommy and daddy might use it to get wrinkles out of our clothes. It's an iron. Say iron. I, I, iron. Iron begins with the letter I. It's that long I sound. I, iron. Good job, friends. We have one more thing in our eye bucket. Let's see who can figure it out. I see a little card and it says it's a party and you're invited. And if I open it up, it tells me where the party would be and what time to be there. That's called an invitation. Say invitation. I, I, invitation. That tells you that a party's going to go on and somebody wants you to come. Invitation starts with the letter I. Now, I'm going to show you a little iBook so we can get as many ideas in our mind of lots of things that start with the letter I. And then I'm going to show you how to use a web to help our brain remember. So far, let's say the I words with me. Ready? Say invitation. Say ice cream. Say igloo. Say insect. Say iron. Now, let's look in our little iBook from Lakeshore and see if we can get some more ideas of things that begin with the letter I sound. Ooh, on the front cover, I see a creature. Do you see it? If we want it to start with an I sound, it has to start with either I, or I. Did you guess it? Did you say iguana? If you said iguana, you're right. Iguana begins with the letter I sound. And look, that's what they put in the book. There's the iguana, and there's the sentence. It says, I is for iguana. That's a new I word. Here's that igloo again. Do you see my igloo? And the sentence says, I is for igloo. Igloo is a very famous I thing, I believe. Here's another thing we know, invitation. My sentence down here on the bottom says, I is for invitation. I. Invitation. Invitation starts with the letter I. Ooh, some of these are a little creepy crawly to me. What are these things, friends? They have 6 legs. Did you say insects? Good. Insect begins with the letter I. Now, what is this? Can you tell what that is? It's some sort of skate. But if we said skate, that would be an S sound. Let's read the words to help us learn what that picture is. Here's my sentence on the bottom. It says, I is for inline skates. Inline starts with an I. That means all the wheels are right behind each other, like a little choo-choo. Inline skate begins with the I sound. There's our ice cream. We know that ice cream starts with the letter I. And look, it's an iron. Let's read the I sentence here on the bottom. I is for iron. That's the tool Mommy and Daddy use to get the wrinkles out of our clothing. Here's a new I word. What is that, friends? Can you tell? It's a plant, but it's a special kind of plant. A plant that grows on a long vine. It's called an ivy. Ivy. The sentence says, I is for ivy. Ivy starts with the letter I. Now, we have a lot of I words in our brain. I'm going to show you a way to remember things better. After we talk about it, like you and I just did, we talked about things that begin with the letter I sound. We looked in our iTub and we read that little Lakeshore book called The Letter I. Let me show you how to make a web. Are you ready? Now, it's not a spider web, but it sort of looks like a spider web. Okay, so let's talk about what, we're talking about the letter I. Yes, but I don't think it's your turn. You're a frog, and we're talking about this letter. We're talking about the letter I. Frog is an F word. Oh, you lost your eye? Okay, go ahead and show everybody. Look, friends, Mr. Frog is here. And do you see he has lost his eye? He only has one eye. But Mr. Frog, that's a different kind of eye. That's not the letter I. That's the word I. That's a whole different letter. Okay, all right. Well, go sit down and I'll help you look for your eye. Okay? Oh, poor Mr. Frog. We'll help him in a minute. Okay? All right. Let's make a web. First, say the word. Say web. Good. A web is a special design that you can write down on paper to help your brain remember. I'm going to put a circle right in the middle of my pretend paper here. This is my magic board, but if you were doing this at home, you would use a piece of paper. Now, in the middle, I'm going to write the letter we just talked about. What letter was that, my friends? That's right, the letter I. So I'm going to make a capital I. There's my capital I. I'm going to make that a little darker there. And a lowercase I. Do you see my eyes in the middle? Now I'm going to add the bubbles on my web. I'm going to make one line here, one line here, one line here, one line here. And on the end of each of these lines, I'm just going to make a little bubble. It doesn't have to be a perfectly shaped circle, just some sort of round shape. Do you see it? This is my web, and I'm going to put pictures of things that begin with the I sound in my bubbles on my web. Do you remember any of the things that were in the I bucket or in that I book? Let's see. It has to begin with I, or I, I. I'm going to draw something in this bubble, and you see if you can remember what was it that started with the I sound. All right, here we go. Now, don't laugh at my picture. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to draw a little opening there, and I'm going to draw some little blocks there. Can you tell what that is? Did you say igloo? Igloo. If you said igloo, you're right. I tried to draw an igloo like this igloo. I tried my best. Now, we need to put something else in this bubble that we learned begins with the I sound. Are you ready? Let's see if you can figure it out. I'm going to draw a little head, a little body, and I'm going to add 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm giving a little bit of antenna there, and I think I'll add a few wings. What is that, my friends? Can you tell? I tried to make an insect. I, insect. Do you hear that I sound? Now we have 2 more bubbles. We need to put something in there that begins with the I sound. Let me try one more thing. Now don't laugh at it. I'll try my best, okay? Here's my little cone. And here's something cold and yummy on top. Can you tell what that is? Did you say ice cream? I, ice cream. If you said ice cream cone, you're right. Ice cream starts with the letter I sound. Excuse me. I have one more bubble in my web. I have to put one more thing that begins with the letter I sound. Now I'm going to put something from the book, something from our little I book that begins with an I. Let's see if you can guess what it is. Are you ready? Okay, I'll try my best. I'm gonna give him some little sharp things and a little face, kind of a long body and a long tail. Oh my. Can you tell what that is? That's a crazy drawing, but I tried my best. Did you say iguana? If you said iguana, you're right. Iguana looks like this, but I tried my best. This is a web, my friends. It's a picture that helps you remember things. My web has a letter in the middle. It has pictures on each of the bubbles that begin with that letter sound. Now there's only one thing left to add. I need to add words. Say words. I'm going to write down the words that match my pictures. This is an igloo, so I'm going to write the word igloo. Will you spell it with me? Here we go. Can you see? I-G-L-O-O. Igloo. Next I word, insect. Let's write it. What's the first letter? I. That's right. Let's write insect. Go. I. N. S. E. C. T. Insect. Insect begins with the letter I. What word am I going to write here? Ice cream. That's right. Here we go. I-C-E. There's the word ice. And then I'll write the word cream underneath. Ice cream. Ice cream begins with the letter I. I see it right there. Our last I picture. Don't laugh at my picture. I tried my best. It's an I. Iguana. It starts with an I. Here we go. Ready to spell iguana? Go. I-G-U-A-N-A. Iguana. Iguana starts with the letter I. Good listening, everybody. That was a lot of things all at the same time. We talked about the letter I. We talked about the two sounds that it makes, I, or I. We read our little I book from Lakeshore, and we made a web. The next time you learn about a letter in school, try to make a little web and see if it helps you remember those sounds better. Yes, Mr. Frog, I'm going to come help you find your I. But your I, that's a different word. It's not an I like this. No, it's not. Okay, all right. Okay, let me go help Mr. Frog find his I. Bye, everybody.